Honourable Member for Calgary-Algol.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the opportunity to rise, speak very briefly to third reading of Bill 33. And I've heard the comments from our legislative colleagues representing rural constituencies, and I have a tremendous amount of empathy for the challenges they face as rural MLAs. It is different than the challenges faced by urban MLAs. And I think one of the things that we should consider, had I had the opportunity to be on the Member Services Committee, perhaps Member Services could have tackled this particular issue, and that is look at providing more resources, financial resources to rural constituencies to allow those larger rural constituencies the opportunity to have more than one constituency office fully staffed and on a full-time basis, or perhaps even more than two for some of the larger constituency areas. So the residents of those large rural constituencies have adequate access to their representatives. I acknowledge that it will not always be possible for MLAs in large rural constituencies to meet in person with every constituent that wants to. It is different, very different, to travel many hundreds of kilometers over many hours to get from one end of your constituency to the other. That is a different challenge than faced by urban MLAs, and I want my rural colleagues to know that I understand how difficult that is. I think in a time where we have access to information technology, to ways of connecting with your MLA that go beyond face-to-face, it's not a replacement. It is somewhat helpful. It can never replace that face-to-face, and I know constituents do want to come in and meet in person with their MLA, and if they can't meet in person directly with the MLA, if there's an opportunity for us to find ways of providing more resources to those rural MLAs so they can have more constituency offices staffed for more hours, perhaps that's a way of bridging some of this. We'll never be perfect. This will never be perfect. We'll never be able to have as many MLAs in as many places as I'm sure all of us might like. That said, I would never advocate for more politicians in Alberta. I don't think that, much as I would like to get re-elected, that would be a strong platform to run on. I think that while the role that we play is an important one, we're never going to find a perfect world. So the process was a very open process. There were 2 rounds of the panel traveling the province, allowing Albertans the opportunity to provide their input, rural and urban, north, central, south, east, and west, provide that input in person, provide that input online, comment on a draft report, provide further comment. There was an opportunity for members to tweak some of the names of constituencies to make them more appropriate. We're never going to get to a place where everyone's happy. And I acknowledge the challenges this creates for rural MLAs, and I acknowledge and hear the concerns of rural Albertans. But I do, in the end, stand in favour of Bill 33 at third reading. I think the process was appropriate, and I think we need to move forward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.